Let's talk about a topic that equally affects all of us. An issue that the BJP government has aggravated over the past 10 years. Unemployment. What is unemployment? It is a condition where those who are willing and are able to work cannot find work. Large majority of us have to earn money to feed and sustain ourselves. For the rest, a job is a necessity to maintain their standard of living. Whatever be our need, they won't be fulfilled without a salary. Money is needed for the basic human needs like food, water, clothing, shelter, etc. Therefore, the right to work is the most essential basic right for a human being to live. The Constitution of India recognizes the right to employment as a fundamental right. It is included under the directive principles of the state policy under Article 41 of the Constitution, wherein it states that the state shall, within its limits of economic capacity and development, make effective provisions to ensure the right to employment, education, and public assistance in the case of unemployment, old age, disease, disability, and other undeserving conditions. This is what our Constitution says. But do you know the dire situation in which our country has reached today? India is facing the worst unemployment rate in the past 50 years. 2 crore jobs will be created every year. This was the main promise of BJP in the 2014 elections. And in the 2019 elections, BJP came to power promising to create 10 crore jobs by the year 2022. But after 10 years in power, the employment rate of India has increased sharply from 2.9% in the year 2014 to 8% in 2024. A very large number of people, especially the youth, are unemployed in India. Consider this, more than 50% of the people in India are under the age of 30, that is, they are the youth. Now, according to the International Labour Organization report of 2024, the unemployment rate among the youth in India is at a whopping 23.22%. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate in our neighboring country Pakistan is at 11.3% and that of Bangladesh is at a 12.9%. That is, India's unemployment rate is double that of Pakistan and Bangladesh. 23% of our youth cannot find jobs. Now let us take the case of educated and qualified youth. The total unemployment rate among the educated youth was 35.2% in the year 2001 and now it has doubled to a 65.7% in 2024. The CMI figures show that unemployment and job losses among the academics and the educated are increasing at a very alarming rate in India. This means that the unemployment rate in the BJP-ruled India, which boasts that India will be the third economic power in the world, is higher than the neighboring countries like Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Demonetization and GST, which were promoted as major economic reforms by the Modi government and later proved to be an utter failure, these have hit the unorganized sectors hard, leaving those seeking employment in such areas in a limbo. After the second Modi government came into power, not only jobs were not created, but people's existing livelihood are also lost. With a population of 140 crores, India has less than 40 crores of employed people. The CMI figures reveal that the number of employed people in India are decreasing every month. According to India's female labour force participation rate, that is LFPR, the female employment participation is only at a 25.1%. It is alarming in ways more than one. It is the lowest rate in the whole world. It is at a 53% in a neighboring country, Bangladesh. The severity of unemployment in India can be understood through a very simple example. In 2022, there were 11,000 Class 4 government job openings in Uttar Pradesh. But around 55 lakh youth applied for these jobs. And the applicants included BBAs, MBAs, MComs, BTechs, MTechs, MPhils, graduates and postgraduates. This study says that if at least 10 crore new jobs are not created by 2025, the country is headed for a very dangerous situation. How did our country end up in this pathetic state of mass unemployment? This is due to innumerable factors in BJP's misguided approach to the affairs of the country. But let us understand the 5 main reasons. Reason number 1, anti-farmer agricultural policies. Agriculture is a primary occupation in India and it offers employment to a significant section of our population. But the Modi government's agricultural policies have adversely affected employment growth in the agricultural sector. During Modi's first tenure, the total number of job opportunities in agricultural sector fell to a 4 crore low. The decline was so steep that the agricultural employment in 2023 was even below the 1983 levels. The attacks on the agricultural sector have deprived many farm workers of employment and income for a significant part of the year. Due to the central government's neglect and violence towards the farmers who are struggling for their just demands, at least 3 crore people will leave the agricultural sector and seek employment in other sectors. Reason number 2. Attack on the unorganized sector. 40% of the country's employment is provided by the unorganized sector. Unorganized sector refers to the labor sector which has to work without any associations or trade unions or organizations of its own to achieve their needs and demands. In vast majority of such workplaces in the unorganized sector, wages and job stability are very low. For example, people working in a petrol pump, salesmen working in a textile shop, domestic workers, shopkeepers, fishermen, daily wage workers. The Modi government has destroyed the unorganized sector to bring it under the control of a handful of corporates. Demonetization of November 2016, implementation of GST in July 2017, non-provision of a relief package to the unorganized sector during the COVID pandemic. These were attacks on the job creators, which are small and medium industries. Due to the mismanagement of the BJP government, between 2014 and 2018, about 30% of the micro, small and medium industries were shut down and 40% of the traders in India stopped their business. Lakhs of people lost their jobs. Reason number 3. Privatization of government enterprises and cessation of the government recruitment. The government privatizes even the best performing public sector companies, public sector banks, insurance companies. Recruitment in all government sectors has come to a near standstill, laying off lakhs of employees. Only limited recruitments are done on contractual basis. Due to this, a total of 16 lakh posts are lying vacant in various departments and ministries of the central and the state governments. Reason number 4. Contractualization of the armed forces, which they call Agnipath. More than 50,000 people were being recruited into the army every year in India. But now, under the Agnipath scheme, 75% of the youth recruits are discharged without pension every 4 years. This means that every year, lakhs of young men who leave the army will join the ranks of the unemployed. This plan also affects the quality of the armed forces as soldiers are recruited without adequate training. What is the real reason behind the Agnipath Yojana? The government wants to save 1.2 lakh crore in pension of the soldiers. Why? Because this money is transferred as an alternative to the corporate loans when the government writes off lakhs of crores of rupees of their debt. In other words, the Modi government that evokes nationalism to get votes in election is willfully jeopardizing the national security after coming into power. Finally, the 5th reason. Caste system in India. It is a biggest social barrier to employment. Dalits and backward castes have no one to represent them in big businesses, bureaucracies, media and so on. The entire wealth of the country is in the hands of 2 or 3% of people like Adani, Ambani, Tata, Birla, etc. The BJP-led central government has completely ignored the Dalits and the other backward castes who constitute 90% of the population without creating enough employment opportunities for them. 50% of the country's population belong to the backward classes, 15% are Dalits, 8% are the tribals, and 15% are the minorities. The backward classes, Dalits, tribals, and the minorities, which constitute nearly 90% of the total population, cannot get jobs in this country. When we consider all these facts and figures, there is no doubt that the BJP-led central government is turning a blind eye to the people of India who are suffering from unemployment. It is evident that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP has miserably failed to fulfill their promise of creating employment opportunities and has also curbed the livelihood of people. In this election, we the people must respond to the BJP's arrogance, and it cannot continue in power by making fools of citizens through their bogus claims and by dividing us in the name of religion and buying out the media. In these times, when we are facing such big challenges, it is necessary for the survival of our country that each of us should take part in this election and make our anger and disapproval count.